We're going to be making a men's puffer vest. So let's begin. So we're going to draw the rectangular dotted line box over these two pieces. We double click in the middle and we're going to scale it up. We scale it up because we want bigger, um, want the garment to be a little larger because remember it's going to be like a puffer vest. So here I'm just slightly adjusting the necklines by just left clicking and dragging the points down. I think I'm satisfied with the armholes because if you check out the puffer vests, they do have a really large armholes, some of them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like shorten it a bit. Now I'm going to add an internal line, iso line, because I'm going to create at the bottom of this, I'm going to create lines so I can cut and sew them and eventually make them narrow, a little narrower, because then so it gives form to this puffer vest. With my pen tool, I'm going to draw out some internal lines so I can sort of delineate where sort of a color should be for this vest. When I draw these internal lines, then I have to cut and sew them. So we select the Edit Pattern tool, and then we'll go back and select these lines that were just drawn out. We click on one, you hold down Shift to click on the other, and all of them, and then we're just going to um, cut and sew them. So it's separated, it becomes a separate pattern piece. Because we always have to prepare this garment before um, making it puffy. So let's see what else we have to do now. Here we're selecting all four pieces, double clicking in the center, and we're making it slightly narrow just to give it a bit of form. So I have to decide on colors, and I've decided that I'd like this puffer jacket to have two colors. So with the add point tool, I am going to measure there at the armhole, put a point at the armhole, and be precise with the measurements because I'll do that for the front and the back. So I'm estimating where I'd like this point to be, and so you see, if you see in the box, the pop-up box that comes up, there is the line 1. I'm going to try to understand at what point I'd like to place it, because how many centimeters? I would say about this 10 centimeters, it's fine. And I'm going to have to right click and 10 centimeters at the place the point in the same position. Now I'm going to draw lines with my pen tool. Okay, one line, point, then one click towards the center, and it automatically is done on the other pattern piece because symmetric pattern is still on. So I'd like two colors. I'm going to slightly curve these lines. So I'm going to use my curve tool. Now I've finished cutting and sewing. So we have now we have these separate pieces. So at the end, I'm going to put the yellow piece on the top pieces, and sort of a beige for the bottom pieces. So now we're going to just assign colors here. So we can hold on shift, click on our pattern pieces, and then click in the object browser and just drag the color onto the pattern pieces, and all of them will be affected. So I'm satisfied with this. Because remember, we're always laying the foundation for the basic garment before we begin applying pressure to achieve that puffiness. So what I'm going to do now is edit the sewing by clicking on all these sewing lines here and deleting them. Right click, deleting them. Because simulate, it's open, I'm going to be putting a zipper at the front. So now we click on assets, select our zipper, and what we want to do is we want to carefully separate these pattern pieces. Now we are going to place the zip, and we're going to go up to assets and to select the zipper tool. And here we want to click once, click again on each point, okay, as shown. Okay, click and click, double click at the end, and then we do it to the other side too. Same procedure. Make sure you're getting each point. Double click, and then a sewing relationship is developed. We simulate, and we fasten the zipper. So now we're going to go back home here, our edit pattern tool, and we're going to be creating the internal lines. So here I'm clicking on this line and right clicking, the add internal isoline box comes up, and here we decide how many lines and the distance between the lines. So here we see the distance between the lines, it's going to be 7.5 cms. Okay, and that's good enough. We do the same with the back pattern. Right click, add internal isoline, and the same it was saved, the distance and the number of lines. Now for the top piece here, we select again, add internal isoline, but this time we want uh, we want more lines, okay? So it's gonna be less distance between lines. So we're gonna choose about three, four, five, six lines, and that's good enough. We're gonna do the same for the back pattern. Right click and click on the ISO line. That was saved, and we just click OK. So now we have our lines, and we simulate a bit to settle the garment. So with our select tool, we're going to sort of organize these pattern pieces in the 2D window. And we're doing this because we're going to be working with these separate pattern pieces. So you need to be organized and in order to understand exactly the position of certain pieces you're going to be placing. And more or less it's the order of the pieces. So we're going to create, we've selected the front, we're going to be creating an outer lining, okay? And this outer lining, okay, we place it here at the top because we are going to, let's consider this is the outer, the first pattern piece, and then there's the one underneath, okay? Lining on top and then the piece underneath. Then we're going to do the same to the back pattern. Select the back pattern, okay? Right click, and here again we create lining outside. We place it at the top. So it's very important to remember these pieces were placed at the top, okay? They're like number one and the second one number two, the layer underneath. So keep that in mind. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the rectangular box over this, the top ones, front and back, and we're going to increase the pressure. So we're going to, in the property editor, we're going to place the pressure value of 50, okay? And these are the top pieces, okay? Front and back. Then we select the bottom pieces and we did put 50 here. We're going to put negative 50 because this is the way to successfully apply the pressure. One has to be positive, one value positive, the other negative. So you simulate and you see already something's happening. Now here, sometimes you have to go gradually because 50 may not be enough. You may need to raise the value. And there are going to be other things we're going to do to also increase the detail of this puffer vest. So already we do have some sort of a detail, but it's not good enough. What we do, we draw we can increase 50 may not be enough, so we're going to put it uh, 80 and see what happens. And here again, the bottom, which it has the negative pressure, we're going to put it to the same value, but negative, okay? Negative 80, minus 80 rather. And there you get it a lot more puff at this point. So there the higher you increase it, the more puff you get. We bring down the particle distance to 10 because this is going to help a lot with details when it's brought down to 10, even 5. So we select all the patterns and put a particle distance of 10. So already you see there is even more detail is emerging. You see details they're coming out slowly, slowly. So we'll stop simulating for now because we're satisfied, I think, with this number. And there are other ways for to add details. For example, the top pattern pieces, we can also select all of the pattern pieces and right click to remove the linked editing, okay? So now they're not really linked. There is no symmetry in them. So what we do, the top pattern pieces, we're gonna just double click in the, select them, double click in the center and make the top pieces slightly larger, okay? Double click, the light green, the dot turns light green, you slightly enlarge it. And here you even have more detail. So doing it that way too, there you're even going, getting more detail. But remember, you always have to remove the linked edited. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense. Um, the top pieces were made wider because remember when you sew on a wider length to a shorter length, there is gathering that goes on. Now, another thing we can do to even bring out more detail is we're going to add elastic. Adding elastic to the internal lines, it's also a very good thing to do because you can manipulate the strength and ratio of the elastic and to so it has that more um, gathered effect. So what we can do is we select the internal lines. Remember when selecting the internal lines, you can click on one and double click and the others will be selected. So here I'm selecting the internal lines and here you double click. In some instances I couldn't get through, but with some patience, you'd be able to select all of them. You press down shift because we want to keep these lines selected, okay? Because we're going to be adding elastic to all of them, almost all of them. The part on the top and the bottom, the color and the bottom, I didn't select the internal lines. Now, when you're satisfied, when it's all selected, you click on the elasticity and you play with the ratio and the strength. The ratio and the strength and the simulation, okay? Because you want to simulate, you want to see exactly, maybe it's too puffy, maybe not too puffy, maybe the details. You see, when you lower the ratio, the details you can create if you like it like this or you like it a little looser, you can increase the strength or even decrease the strength. So there you can really play along to um, really understand exactly how these it affects your the puffiness. There are some things that you have to take into consideration before you create this puffer vest. And the objective of this tutorial was to, show you some things. I'm sure there are others. And sometimes going along, you can find other things and you tweak them. But these are the main points for this tutorial. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little extra gloss to the top material. Maybe it's too much. Okay, I'm going to maybe you can sort of embellish your garment as you wish. I'm going to bring down the value a bit. It's not too bright. And uh, for the beige material, I'm going to, I really don't want any too much gloss there at all if I have it on the top part. Now the last part of this video is sped up because I'd like to just add some color to the zipper. Remember, if you need to see this in detail, I have the other videos um, where I delve into the uh, zip, talk about the zipper tool and editing all the parts of this. Thank you for watching this video and have a nice day.